Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Stitch Flicks where we slow down and crochet something beautiful together. Today we're going to be learning the corner to corner moss stitch. So what you're going to need to get started is any weight 4 acrylic yarn. You will need a 5 or 5.5 millimeter hook. Today I'm using a 5.5, scissors, a yarn needle, and some stitch markers. So let's get started. You're going to begin by grabbing your tail and just making a slip knot and placing that on your hook. Now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And in the first chain you made, you're going to make a single crochet, chain 1, and another single crochet. So that is the end of our first row. So what you're going to do next is chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn your work. So you're going to skip the single crochet and you're going to make 1 single crochet, chain 1 inside the first chain space we have. So after this single crochet we made, which is the first single crochet we made in that row, you're going to see that little space, which is the chain 2 that was left over from our base chain. You're going to go in there and just make a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet again into the same stitch. You're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work, skip the single crochet, and in that first chain space, make 1 single crochet and 1 chain. So we're only going to be working into chain spaces the entire time, just like regular row by row moss stitch. So in the next space, make a single crochet and a chain 1. And in that last space, make a single crochet, a chain 1, and another single crochet. If you want to use stitch markers, you can. So where your chain 3 was at the beginning of this row, place that stitch marker. And then let's put our hook back in. So we are at the end of our row. The stitch marker is in that chain 3. We're going to chain 3 here. Turn your work. And you can put the stitch marker around that chain 3 right now if you want, or you can do it after you make your first stitch. So in the chain space, single crochet, chain 1. In the next, single crochet, chain 1. In the next one, a single crochet, chain 1. And in the last, where the chain 3 is, you're going to make a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. So in the last stitch, we're always going to make a single crochet, a chain 1, and another single crochet. In the rest of the chains, you would be making single crochets and just 1 chain after. So the last space is the only one that's a little bit different. So again, you can move your stitch markers up if you'd like, or if you're like me, you can just go on without them. So I've chained 3. This is where you could put your stitch marker if you're using it. Single crochet, chain 1 into that first space, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, another single crochet, and since it's the last one, we'll make another after our chain. So you can see it is starting to look somewhat, we've got a triangle right now, but it's going to grow for as long as we decide to make it, or as big. And once we've gotten to the length we want, that's when we would start decreasing and it'll come to meet at the other point. Hopefully that made sense. Sometimes I don't think I'm the best at explaining things, but you tell me. So I've chained 3, I've turned my work, and in that first space, again, single crochet, chain 1, continue on, a single crochet and a chain 1 in each space after. And when you get to the last one, where your chain 3 is, single crochet, chain 1, and another single crochet. So that is the end of our next row. You can make this piece as big as you would like. I'm just going to make just a decent sized little square like I have been for this entire series. So I have a couple rows to go. And I was thinking, I know a lot of the little swatches I've used so far, I'm like, oh, this could be a coaster. Sure, they all could because of the size I'm making them. But I was thinking the other day, wouldn't it be cool if when I get through this whole series, however many stitches that ends up being, I turn my little swatches into a blanket? What do you think of that? I thought that would be a fun idea. And I was even going to have you guys vote on the yarn color for the next tutorial so that you're included in the process. Kind of like my moss stitch blanket series I've got going on my shorts, similar to that. But I like to make things interactive, and I know a big majority of you guys like that as well. So that's what's been on my mind. Back to my swatch. I am single crocheting, chain 1, all the way down my row in each chain space. Just like that. And I don't know if you knew this, but so we've done moss stitch row by row. And now we're doing it corner to corner. You can also do moss stitch in the round. So if you guys want a moss stitch tutorial in the round, let me know down below in the comments, and that's something I can plan for. I am all about the moss stitch, as you can probably tell. Okay, so I'm just going to take my stitch markers out. And I think I might do 1 or 2 more rows. And if you're making this along with me, let me know how many rows you did for your moss stitch swatch. It's also called the linen stitch. Some may know it by that, the linen stitch. I always say moss stitch. I'm not sure why. It's probably the first way I learned it. The first term used for it that I learned, I guess. Oops. So that seems like a somewhat decent size to me. So now I'm going to decrease. So when you get to your last chain space before your chain 3, so you're going to, I'm in here, I'm going to just single crochet like I have been. I'm not going to chain, and I'm going to single crochet again into that chain 3 space. So this is going to start to turn our work to be working this way now, and we'll also do it on this side, and then we'll be going up. So now we're going in. So now chain 2, turn your work. You're going to skip the 2 single crochets you just made and go into the first chain space, just like normal, and crochet down your row. So that's the only difference when it comes to increasing and decreasing. It's just how you end your rows. And you could turn this into a rectangle, yes, and to do that you would just pick one side to decrease from and keep increasing from the other side like we were. So you would do 2 single crochets at the end of your row, turn your work with your chain 2, and on the row where you're still going out, you would keep doing a single crochet, a chain 1, and a single crochet. So that would make it grow up while this is already going in, and you would eventually get a rectangle. All right, so I've chained 2, and now I'm turning my work. I'm skipping those first 2 single crochets. And I'm just going to single crochet, chain 1 in each of the chain spaces. So just keep repeating this decrease row. So I'll meet you back when you have 2 chain spaces left in your row. Okay, so I have 2 chain spaces left in my row. This is a single crochet, a single crochet, a chain, a single crochet, a chain, and my chain 2. So what I'm going to do is skip those 2 single crochets at the beginning, single crochet into the chain, chain 1, single crochet into the last chain, and single crochet into the chain 2 space. I'm going to chain 2, turn my work. We have 1 chain space left. We're going to skip our first 2 single crochets like we have been, single crochet into the chain space, single crochet into the chain 2. Chain 1, turn your work, and in that chain 2 space, you're going to make a single crochet. Then you can chain 1 and fasten off your yarn. Pull that tight to secure it. And just like that, we have our little moss stitch corner to corner swatch. If you decide to make something with this stitch, come back and let me know in the comments because I'd love to know what you're making. And if you're a subscriber, you can share photos with us on my community tab. I love seeing what you guys are making. So that's the end of this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys. Thanks for watching.